Hey everybody, this is David Warner with another M365.video SharePoint short. Today we're going to continue talking about list formatting and automating our development deployment. This is a quick tip on how to utilize keyboard shortcuts. We're going to begin by reviewing the process from the previous videos that allow us to automate that development deployment, and then we're going to see how we can streamline those custom tasks that were created in Visual Studio Code by using keyboard shortcuts. Let's take a look. Let's review the automated development deployment process that we covered in the previous videos. We wanted to set up a very specific folder and file structure that'll provide the best organization to automating our definition deployments. Then we're going to use PowerShell to connect to the correct list, columns, or views. And then we created Visual Studio Code custom tasks to support the actual deployment of those definitions. We've gone ahead and opened the automated deployment solution template that we've been using in our previous videos here in Visual Studio Code. So now we'll take a look at how we can set up some custom keyboard shortcuts that allow us to execute those custom tasks that we created. So we'll begin by engaging the command palette. We'll just go ahead and select F1 to do that, and we'll type the word keyboard. And that brings up the options available to us that include that keyword. So we're going to go ahead and select Open Keyboard Shortcuts. What this does is it shows us all the available keyboard shortcuts on our installation here in Visual Studio Code. It will in fact even include custom keyboard shortcuts, so we'll be able to find ours once we create it. This is a great way to see what's out there. It's a very valuable way to search the existing key bindings. If you're looking to use a key combination, it's very easy to determine whether or not the key combination you're looking to use is available or if it'll conflict with something that's already there. We'll do a quick search here. I'd like to use Control-Shift F11, so I'd like to know if that's available or not. I've already copied it into my clipboard, so I'll just go ahead and paste it, but you can type it in. You can see here that it's showing blank, so I know that this is a pretty clear keyboard combination to use, and I can tell that if I go ahead and back up, we see, oh, there's tons of Control-Shift, so I'll just go ahead and add back in F11 so you can see the experience, and it's showing me a clean slate, so I know it's not going to conflict with any existing keyboard shortcuts. Now we want to go ahead and put in our own custom. You can see here that there's an option for us to edit that in an advanced customizations file called keybindings.json. We could certainly just click on that. I'll show you the original way that I typically do it. We'll go ahead and close our keyboard shortcuts. We'll re-engage the command palette and we'll type keyboard again. And you can see this is another way of opening it. It says Open Keyboard Shortcuts File. What we see happen is it opens up our default key bindings, so it's showing us all those that were available, and then it opens up this additional keybindings.json file. So this is where we can go ahead and put in our own custom keyboard shortcuts called key bindings, and if you select Control Space, it shows us the JSON format that it's looking for. It's looking for a key, a command, and a win. Now I already have the JSON that we want to use for this demo in my clipboard, so I'm just going to go ahead and paste that in and we'll review it. We can see it's using JSON syntax, so it's got an array and then an object. For the key property right here, that's what we're going to go ahead and define for our actual keyboard combination. So we see the Control-Shift F11. The command is that we want it to run a task. So we see it's workbench.action.tasks.run task. We know we created a command or a task in the previous videos, and so we want to run that. And the important part here is arg. So this is the name of our custom tasks that we want to run. In this case, we created in the previous videos a custom task called List Column Formatting JSON Definition Deployment. We know that this is going to go deploy out our list column formatting definition to the list column that's identified within our PowerShell script. And so this just connects the keyboard shortcut to that custom task. And we can see that if we go look at our VS Code folder. We'll go ahead and save this file because we do want to preserve our key bindings or our keyboard shortcuts. And if we come over to our VS Code and we open up the tasks.json, we see, go ahead and close our default key bindings, we see here's the labels that we're connecting to. So we just created a list column formatting JSON deployment keyboard shortcut that's going to connect to this custom task, which then in turn will execute this PowerShell script. All things we covered in our previous videos. So if you haven't watched those, then definitely go in and take a look. Now let's go ahead and refresh ourselves with the actual definition that's going to get deployed when we execute our custom keyboard task or shortcut. So we'll go ahead and close our tasks.json. Close our VS Code, we'll open our JSON definitions, and we'll open up our column definition. So again, this is just a very simple column formatting definition. It's going to update a column that looks for a task status and is going to apply a background color via the class, the CSS class, and an icon to it depending on the value that's actually in that column. It's the exact same sample that's in the GitHub repositories, so it's very simple, and this is what we want to be applied. We're going to use the same task status list that we have in our previous demo videos for this series. I've gone ahead and cleared out any column formatting enhancements that we actually deployed in those videos, so we've got a clean slate. So now we're just going to go ahead and execute our keyboard shortcut. Obviously in the video you can't see this, but I'm going to go ahead and execute Control-Shift F11, and we see now what it's doing is it's executing our task. It shows us that it's providing that execution of that PowerShell. We got the green light, the list column formatting definition has been updated, so let's jump over to the browser and take a look. We're in our task list here in the browser. We see that there's no column formatting being applied to the task status. Right here, it is a clean slate as we expected, but now that it's been deployed using our keyboard shortcut and our custom task, I should be able to just refresh my page and see the column formatting enhancement having been applied. So refresh, and there you go. We got our color, we got our icon, and that's all been done using our custom task and our custom keyboard, really helping the productivity of our development with our list formatting enhancements. We're back now in Visual Studio Code where I've pre-opened the keyboardbindings.json file where we created our custom keyboard shortcut. It's important to highlight the scope of our keyboard shortcuts. Keyboard shortcuts are actually global, so we've created them. They're available every single time we open up Visual Studio Code. We know in our previous videos, though, we talked about how our custom tasks were local to our solution. We created them, and Visual Studio Code created this VS Code folder and put the tasks.json file. So what would happen if we were to open up another solution and try to execute our custom keyboard shortcut that's looking for the custom task? To simulate that, we won't actually delete our tasks.json file, but we'll go ahead and put in a different value into the args. We'll go ahead and change the actual name of the task it's looking for. We'll just simply add on demo here in our JSON file. Now what we'll do is we'll go back to our column definition JSON. We'll go ahead and close our key bindings, close our default key bindings, and we'll just try to execute that. What's going to happen is it's looking for a task that doesn't exist. So we'll select Control-Shift F11, and you can see that the command palette has been engaged. It's asking us to select a task to run. It doesn't find that task, so it wants us to choose one that it does find. Now, if I had executed that keyboard shortcut in another folder that didn't have a VS Code or a tasks.json file to look in, it's just going to tell us that no tasks are found, and it's going to ask us to configure a task. Here, it's giving us a choice. It's contextually aware that some tasks already exist. Maybe we want one of those. But if no tasks exist that match it, it's going to go ahead and just say, no tasks found, please configure a task. Thanks for watching my video today. Here's some useful links as you get started with list formatting that I've also included in the blog post. Have a great one.